Howling Banshee painting update for my Get It Painted challenge. Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. Right, today I'm going to do a little update of my Get It Painted challenge. I'm painting the Eldar Howling Banshees. Before that though, if you would like to keep up to date with the wonders of Warhammer 40k, then please give me a sub and hit the bell button so you don't miss an upload. Okay, so today I'm going to update you on my painting project, the Howling Banshees. This is for the Get It Painted challenge. Before I go table down and show you what I've been doing, I'd just like to say a massive thank you to everyone who's entered so far in the challenge. I know a few of you are going to be putting some videos up soon as well. I really appreciate you all entering, and I really hope the challenge helps motivate you with your projects. Now, if you've been following along this series, you'll know that I've got a Get It Painted community group, so head on over there if you haven't done so already. Check all the fantastic entries and all the great projects that are underway, and don't forget to give everyone a sub if you haven't done so already. Right, okay, so let's go table down and have a look at my Banshees. Okay, so here are the Banshees. Now, it may not look like I've done a lot. I've actually been fairly busy on these, but at the same time I've also been finishing off those Necrons. So I've been doing all of those Necron bases, and there's about 42 models there to base up. I had to make my own little plastic crystals and stuff, so I was busy with that at the same time. However, what I have done on these girls is I went over them and just double checked all of the mould lines, make sure they were all filed down. I also put some green stuff on the bases, like these little joints where sometimes there's a little hole there, so I green stuffed all of those in. I then worked on the X-Arts. Now, in the previous video you saw that I had one X-Art that was magnetised with both weapon options. I was going to exchange the magnets for some stronger magnets, and then I was going to do the same for the second X-Art. Well, I had a bit of an issue. The other Executioner that I had, when I started to file down the mould lines, I noticed that the front had actually bent a little bit, probably just in my bits box. And you know what it's like with metal, especially when they're very weak and feeble little areas. Once you get a bend, they become very weak, and in actual fact, just by trying to straighten it out a little, it broke off. So I had a look at my bits box. I had no more Executioners. I thought maybe I could convert to one of those Dire Avenger X-Art spears, but I'd used all of those because I remember using those for some witch staffs for my Seer Councils. I had none of those either. So in the end I decided to just make these two X-Arts here slightly different. I'm just going to have one with mirror swords, which I love the model with mirror swords anyway, and then one with the Executioner. Now in game it's not going to be a problem for me. I'm just going to say, well, they both got Executioners or whatever, because I just play with my buddies, and if I do end up going to a tournament and I happen to be taking the Howling Banshees, well then maybe I might have to model up another Executioner in the future. Now, even though that was the situation, I still did magnetise them with some stronger magnets. So both the one on the left with the mirror swords and one on the right with the Executioner, they're all magnetised. Once that was all done and dried, I then went in, I've given them a primer of Corax White, which is basically like a grey primer, even though the name says white, and that's going to be my starting point. So I have been doing quite a bit of research on these girls as well, and I'm working out how I'm going to paint them. It seems like most people tend to paint them from like a brown colour. Indeed, a lot of people spraying them black and then undercoating them with a brown and working up to bleach bone. What I've decided to do is prime them in this light colour, and then I'm going to go over the armour with Agrath's Earthshade. I'm going to give them a wash first to introduce that brown colour, but without making them really, really brown. So I'm going to leave that wash in the recesses, and then I'm going to work the armour plates up using bleach bone. And then I'll do some extra highlights, probably with a light colour like pallid witch flesh, something like that. So that is the plan. So I'm still going to use that brown sort of undercoat as such, but without going all over. So hopefully I won't have to have so many layers of paint to build up the bone colour. Other colours I'm going to introduce, I've decided I'm going to paint their hair purple, because that is going to match my army really, really well. And then I'm going to paint their tabards white, and that will introduce the purple and white into the models. The guns would be black because that's how my Eldar guns are, and I think the swords will be blended from gold to silver, which is how I've done a lot of my other swords in the army. So that is the plan. I'm ready to paint, so all I've got to do now is paint them. So I hope you enjoyed the update. Beam me up.